Today, we're going to try to explain the different terms in the mattress industry that they use on mattresses like hybrid and memory foam and such. So, as we go forward, I'm going to try to break this down in the history behind it, why it is in the industry, and why do they use this. Before I get started with that, though, my name is Everett, and I review mattresses. And this is an opinion video based by me. I'm not paid by any manufacturers to make this video, or this is not sponsored. I'm making this video purely as information to you, to explain to you why we have different terms in the mattress industry. So as you go out and shop for a new mattress, you have a better understanding, especially if it's been a while since you've shopped for a mattress, because some of this goes back a ways, some of it's fairly new. So anyways, back to the review of hybrid versus memory foam, or why do we call them this? And with that, I'm going to start with memory foam because it has a longer history. So let's go with the older one. Memory foam mattresses there was always foam mattresses on the market, but memory foam was a relatively new thing. It was invented by NASA in the 60s for astronauts. And it really didn't make it into the mattress industry until Tempur-Pedic introduced it in 1991. And memory foam, obviously, this is memory foam. This is gel memory foam. So just to kind of give you a reference, the color black there is memory foam. Memory foaming mattresses, Tempur-Pedic put together the first memory foam mattress, basically called it the Swedish sleep system. And it hit the market, and it hit the market with some success and actually blew up. It wasn't an overnight success, but as people got to know it, they really liked the memory foam mattress. They liked the way it felt versus an inner spring. And at the time, that's what we called mattresses, because they had a inner spring in them. They had a spring system inside of them with buildup on top. And the memory foam was a new idea, a different feel, and it opened up a different comfort level. It just really kind of opened up to people a new way of feeling, especially at that time. In the 80s, we were coming off, water beds were dying at that time, and the air bed really hadn't, what was it? Sleep Number, I think, is the one that innovated this, the Sleep Number bed. They really hadn't hit the scene yet, or made a splash. And so this was a big deal. This was a big innovation in 91, 92. People started buying Tempur-Pedics. It started building a name brand, and it's built a fabulous brand for themselves. And going forward, if you ever go into a store and a salesman says, this is a Tempur-Pedic knockoff, the reason being is because Tempur-Pedic was first. And so all memory foam mattresses basically can pay homage to Tempur-Pedic, because they were the ones that kind of cracked the formula, got out there, marketed, people liked it. And from there, other manufacturers, I think Casper was one of the big first ones, kind of come in and started making a mattress very similar to Tempur-Pedic. And then you can go on down the line, Nectar, oh geez, who else? There's just tons of them. Zenus. Uh, I forget about Novafoam. Novafoam in Costco is a big one too. So that's the history of the memory foam mattress. And then there has been innovations from 91, 92. Nothing stayed stagnant. Then they got gel infused memory foam, which you see on top here. This blue memory foam has gel beads in it to help disperse heat. Memory foam itself retains heat and holds that heat in there. It was great for astronauts when they were sleeping, I guess, up in the space station or whatever, that they could stay there and they could retain the heat and not get cold. So, but not so good if you're in Arizona in the summertime. It'll burn you up. So that is the memory foam. Well, I shouldn't say that is. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. All memory foam mattresses have a base foam layer. This base foam layer here is usually a firm layer of foam that supports all the other foam layers. That replaces your inner spring or your spring coils. That is what is the foundation of the mattress. That's what you build everything else off of there. Typically from the base foam layer, we have a responsive or an adaptive layer of foam. This is a foam that is not as firm, maybe a medium firm. It is a transition from the harder foam to the memory foams that you're going to put on top. And this memory foam goes on top of that right there. And that offers you the pressure point comfort that you need. It kind of cradles you. I always describe it as a cradling feeling. When you lay into it, a foam mattress cradles you. So it's just the easiest way to describe it. People have other terms for it, and so be it. So memory foam mattresses, this is how they're constructed. This is probably how most of them are constructed. I'm not saying all. There's probably some manufacturer out there that'll send me an email going, no, you're wrong. We make it differently. Okay, so be it. This is how most of them are made. Okay, so now you understand. If you go into a store and they say it's a memory foam mattress, you're guaranteed it's got memory foam in it, and you kind of have an idea how it's built. Or if you buy it online, which a lot of us do, and it comes to you in a box, all vacuumed down, this is what you're buying. This is the mattress. So that is memory foam. Okay, now let's step over to hybrid. This has been a term that not only confuses the public, but it's confused the industry for a long time. And I even had this wrong until before I made this video here. I was always under the assumption that Simmons Beauty Rest was the one that coined the term hybrid. I was under this assumption because in 2008, my father had mattress stores. That's how I got in the mattress business. And we went down to Las Vegas Furniture Market, and Simmons introduced this to us. They're like, we have the hybrid mattress. And we were like, okay, so what's different about it? And well, it fuses foam with coil units. Okay, well, that's what your bed did in 2007 too. And it was called an inner spring. No, it's not an inner spring, it's a hybrid. I remember the argument my dad had with the salesperson. And so it's just always been kind of one of those running jokes. What I didn't know is that this term was actually invented by some component makers that worked with Leggett and Platt. Leggett and Platt is the big spring company that makes springs for everybody. They make adjustable bases. They make bed frames. They make a lot of stuff. And they had realized that the memory foam mattress was on fire at that time in 2008, and people were buying them. And now you can buy them online. They get shipped right to the house. They had to set themselves apart as a spring manufacturer from memory foam. They didn't make memory foam. They made springs. So they coined the term hybrid to better define what a inner spring mattress was. So instead of using the term inner spring, they said, no, this is a hybrid mattress. This blends a coil unit. So this is a wrapped coil unit down here. This is springs inside fabric in rows that go down in the mattress. And then you have your, just like I showed you on the other bed, you have a responsive layer of foam, and then this one has gel memory foam on top. Or you can put memory foam on there. So back to in 2008, this was a way for the mattress industry to define the more traditional mattresses that made mattresses in a factory, did not put them in a box and shipped them out to you via a delivery truck, not FedEx. They wanted to define themselves as being elevate, I guess is more of a word. They wanted to elevate themselves above memory foam and show the value that you're getting with the inner springs. And when Leggett & Platt did that, Simmons Beauty Rest was first to market. They were the first ones to say, okay, we're going to change all our marketing to hybrid. That's why I was under the impression that Simmons was the one that invented the term, even though they did not. Simmons is part of a bigger family of mattresses. It's actually part of a company called SSB, which is sort of Simmons Bedding. And since they were one of the big S's, they carried a lot of weight. And so when they come out with this hybrid term, it wasn't long before the other big manufacturers started using hybrid because they realized this resonated with the public. At that time, if you remember, go back in the Wayback Machine, hybrid cars were starting to hit the market, and they were becoming very popular, the Toyota Prius and such like that. So this resonated with the public. They could understand hybrid. It was a mix of two things that were great. In a car, you had gasoline and electric engine, so you could burn less gas and go farther, but you still had the convenience of gas. Well, this same thing, they would tell you. You got the convenience of having the inner spring, but you also have the marriage of memory foam. That term stuck and basically become canon by 2017. By 2017, everybody uses the term hybrid. So if a mattress has coils in it and memory foam, it's called a hybrid. So if you walk into a mattress store and they say, let me show you a hybrid mattress, this is what they're trying to show you. They're trying to show you a mattress that has coils and has memory foam on top of it. And the salesman's probably going to say, this blends the best of both worlds, the supportive coil system and foam. Okay, so now you kind of got a grasp of the two and how the two kind of, born out of the memory foam industry is what made the inner spring industry change and come up with the hybrid. These are the two basic mattresses you're going to run into in a mattress store. Or if you go on somebody's website, they're going to have an option. I think I was just on Satva's website, and they have the option. You can get this in memory foam or you can get this in hybrid. And so it's the terms we use in the industry. It's confusing, especially to somebody like myself that's been in the mattress industry for a long time. You think I would just accept hybrid, but it just, I don't know, because we call them inner springs for so long, it's just a little confusing for me. I still call foundations, which are not box springs, they have no springs in them. I still call them box springs. It's just one of those slips of the tongue. They're kind of like, I don't know. So this is the difference. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, great. So you showed us a hybrid, you showed us a memory foam. Which one's better? Well, isn't that the $50 million question? They both do the same job. They do it in different ways. I already told you the memory foam cradles you. So you lay on it. If you like that feeling of laying on something, on a thick comforter, or having a really thick pillow, and you like how it cradles your neck and your body, excuse me, memory foam is going to give you a similar feel. When you go to a hybrid, it's going to have a more responsive feel. What do I mean by responsive? Well, when you lay on it and you lay on that memory foam, underneath it, you don't have another layer of foam. You have inner springs or springs. And these springs are going to adjust to you. They're going to react to the weight of your body. And so it gives you a much more responsive feel. So if you're somebody that's had a traditional mattress, and that's what a hybrid is. So if you're like, I'm not following what hybrid, it's just a traditional mattress with springs in it. It's just a different way of coining the term. Then a hybrid is probably for you. That is probably what you're going to like, because you're already used to the coil system and the responsiveness of it. But I've found that a lot of people that either have had an air bed, or in the past, I still run into people that still have water beds. And then when they fail, they're like, I don't know what to do. They tend to go to memory foam. It feels more like what they used to sleep on. But they're going to do the same job. This isn't a gotcha video or a clickbait video where I'm like, well, hybrid won this battle. No, it doesn't really work like that. These two products here are trying to help you sleep better, and they're trying to give you the support that you need. And in this case here, it comes down to what feels better to you. What feels better? Do you like being cradled, or you like a responsive feel when you lay on the mattress and roll around? That's the difference. That's what you should be looking for when you go shopping or you're shopping online, to help you narrow down what you're looking for in a mattress. All too often, we just get kind of confused by the terms, and there's a lot of malarkey, especially on the websites that I see. So don't feel like you're confused. Even I get confused sometimes, and I have to go back and do my research and such like that. So this is the difference between the two. They achieve the same ends to means of giving you a good night's sleep and support. They do it in different ways. So there you go. Hybrid versus memory foam. This is the difference, and this is what you're getting when you buy it online or in a brick and mortar store. So I hope I've not been too confusing on this. I hope I've been as clear as possible. I really don't want to confuse you. I want you to be educated when you buy your next mattress. I want you to understand what you're getting, what's inside the mattress, what you're paying for. And I don't want you to overpay for something thinking that, oh, well, this is so much better than the other. It doesn't really work like that in the mattress industry. And it's so hard to tell because they have a cover on them. You can't look underneath the cover. And some manufacturers will provide displays like this where you can kind of see the layers and stuff. They call them a bun. It's a little square thing, and they'll sit on there. And that can be very helpful, but they don't always do that. So I made this video because I get asked this all the time. Well, what's the difference between a hybrid and a memory foam? And hopefully this video is helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you for stopping by. And if you did like it or don't like it, it doesn't matter. Leave a comment down below. If you want to know more about this, I only really squeezed the important stuff into this. Leave me a comment. I'll try to answer that. But otherwise, have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by.